Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. We are here. We are at the end of free play mode. At last, we have just 2 levels remaining. And we of course begin with Jedi Destiny. So, this level obviously is mostly a boss fight. So, what I would recommend is you just take out Palpatine for each segment, then deal with the Imperial Guards, whatever you call them, and then just go after everything in that particular area. That is my recommendation, and compared to LEGO Star Wars 2, there are quite a few changes this time around. Some mini-kits are in the same place but obtained in different ways, some are in completely new locations, and there are a few, and some are just like altered. Well, yes, that's exactly the first thing I just said. But our power brick, you need to activate all of these red squares. There's 4 on each side of the window. That thing gets in the way. There we go. It hovers over to it, but you're still in control of your character for quite some time. Then it freezes you in place. So we literally just saw the Emperor fall down the back of his throne. Look at that score. We have a score with 3. I don't know how I forgot to turn this on the last time, but now I have it. Score times 384, was it? Find out when the power brick goes off. And it gets better. So that's the Super Ewok Catapult. It's pretty much the Ewok equivalent of a thermal detonator. It still only has the same range in terms of how far it can actually go as the regular Ewok attack. Obviously the difference being it explodes as well. So this is the Imperial Guard, whose attacks I find to be quite awkward to do. Sometimes they just guard, sometimes they actually do a combo, and I think it's got something to do with the timing of your button presses, as if you were trying to have different power levels, like trying to do the block breaker for the Jedi. But exactly how you do it, I don't know. And for some reason, even though the Imperial Guards aren't affected by it, they still get the disarmed troopers effect. So they still have the... You can just walk right over this now. They still have the disarmed trooper effect. So they still carry carrots. Even though they're not guns, they're spears. They still carry the carrots, but they can still attack with them. So they can still hurt you. And obviously, as with the Stormtroopers, if you yourself are an Imperial Guard, then you'll be carrying carrots as well. And again, you can actually damage enemies this time, but it's really awkward to do. I had a hard time pressing it. I had a hard time with getting the button presses at the right time. So this is new. This is something we didn't have to do in LEGO Star Wars 2. That mini kit, all you had to do was just turn on the 4 lights, or blow them up, whatever it was. Here, you have to find 3 panels. Now, I do end up missing the second one for a bit, so it ends up being the last mini kit I get. Which it probably would have been anyway, but I do have to backtrack a little bit, because I missed one of the ones in the center of the room. But there are 3 of those in total. They are new to the Complete Saga. They weren't in LEGO Star Wars 2. All you had to do was just turn on those light things that surround it. Just like how we had to with that one. That one, on the other hand, is not effective. It's not for that. It lowers this platform. You will need a double jump character to get up there, and then someone to hover over. For a bit more precision, I wouldn't go for the fence. And this room is different as well. So in LEGO Star Wars 2, you simply had to run across each one of the things on the floor. Simply light them all up, and there we go. It's kind of similar to that, to the A New Hope level from the original LEGO Star Wars that had to, in order to free 3PO. This time it's a bit different. We need to destroy the things on the sides first, because otherwise the corner ones will turn off like a second after you step off of them. And you won't have time to go around the entire thing. So you need to destroy the things in the corners. I think the ones on the right can be destroyed by anything, and the ones on the left require an explosive, which is weird, because they look exactly the same. And that will activate, once they're destroyed, that will activate the corner ones. And then that's how you can, and then they stay on, so then you just run around the square as normal. Well, it looks so weird seeing Ewok doing that. That's how we get that one. I'm turning these lights on as well, but they don't do anything other than give you studs. And the room does have these explosive walls, which end up being a lot bigger on the inside, but that's how you get the mini kit. With the spear, that looks fine, but when he's just carrying a carrot, that looks so wrong. So there is one more thing just around the other side, but I completely missed it. This makes things a lot easier though. You don't have to switch characters in this time around. And I probably could have done that in some of the other levels, rather than having like R2 as my partner and switching back and forth. Actually, I think I had to do that anyway. I don't remember, but this time around the Emperor will only... You can just keep your partner character as someone the Emperor will attack, and he always goes for them, so you don't need to worry about alternating characters when he uses his electricity. Now we're going to be spending much of the rest of the level inside this one single room. It's very easy to just walk past this thing. So knock that down, creates these explosive things, attack them. If you don't have the invincibility, make sure you get out of the way of that. And then you get in, and then you can come in here. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is supposed to be. But I'm just gonna call it the living room. And there's quite a few things you can do in here. So first we have these levers. And in order to get up there, we need to push a block into to activate the lift. However, we need to do quite a few things in order to get to said lift, in order to actually make the block fall down in the first place. But there are a few other mini kits up here as well. And this is one of the few occasions where we actually have to build the crawl through tunnel. It's not the only one, but there have been a couple of others, but this is one of the few occasions where we have to do that. I mean, there's only 2 mini kits in the room, but how you get to one of them is rather time consuming. As you can see, we have all of this on the floor. Any of the chairs that aren't glowing are the ones that can be destroyed. Weirdly, they look exactly the same as the chairs that were inside the Jedi Temple. Don't know why the Emperor would keep them here. Maybe, I guess they're just really comfortable chairs. Which is good enough reason for me. So these things all require a bounty hunter. Just pass me, stop throwing bombs. And that's how you lower that down. Come on, past me. Destroy that and get the power brick. Not the power brick, the other mini kit. The third mini kit. There's 3 in here. There's a lot of mini kits in here. So this is where I try and activate the panel without realizing there was one other thing that I just need to do first, and that's turn off that fan. In fact, there's nothing. Pull that away. Now we can activate the panel and get the mini kit. I did that the wrong way. I'm trying to jump up onto those chairs. I don't know how you're supposed to do it because you can't exactly jump that high. So I do it the way they don't want you to do it. Get up here. With a double jump character, you can move around the other side. And it's a little bit hard to see, but there is another panel. The front panel, you can't just crawl through the wall. You need the panel to make the wall completely disappear, which is hidden around the other side. So once you build that, you can use the force. And now you can crawl through. But you still need an explosive when you're on the inside. And that's how you do it. It looks like you should be able to run through, but you can't. Which I guess is fine if you end up accidentally walking off the side. And this was my second attempt, so I sort of got stuck in this room. For 2 reasons. Firstly, I never noticed that that little one was there to turn that into the crawl space. And the second one, and this is the main reason, this bit didn't work the first time around. I have no idea why. I pushed the block, I spun it round. You can't turn that thing anymore. then you just have to push this towards the lift. It tells you where you need to go. I slid it into the gap. Slid it too far that time. And I did exactly what I did here. And activates the light. That didn't want to work last time. I pushed it in. It lit up green. And the lift didn't turn on. I have absolutely no idea how that happened. But we did it, and that's all that matters. Alright, so now we can just go and get our last two mini-kits. This one exists, or our last mini-kit I should say. This one's just for studs. You think it looks like the propellers should be used for something, but they're actually not. They have no purpose. So you just need to jump up here. You need a bit of the you do need the platform a little bit. And there we go, we're finally done in this room. So our last mini kits are, well, our last mini kit is where the Emperor is. But of course, I do eventually realise, oh wait, I missed one. Thankfully this room is really small, so it doesn't take long to look for it. And again, despite that being the dark side and being red, in the complete saga, that can be activated with any character. In LEGO Star Wars 2, the red one, and they are darker, they're not like covered in like a silver circle. This whole room is darker, actually. And you know what? I prefer it that way. Gives it a bit more atmosphere, but it did need a dark side character. So this is where I'm like, okay, I missed something. It's probably in the middle of the room, because I was thinking I may have missed something in the middle of the room, and yep, there it is, because I thought, I'm sure I only activated, I'm sure there was 2 of these things. So again, blows away much more of the wall than there actually is, and really this one is a Stormtrooper character panel. So that's the second one. And our last one is literally where the Emperor is. So come on past me, get over there. I like how that arrow just sort of twisted around. I guess it's because I was already on it. But the lift was already down. Yeah, now I don't think you had to build these things in LEGO Star Wars 2. I think they were already there. It was pretty much the same as the other time we fought, yeah, as the other upper platform in the other area. And so by activating all of them, you can now proceed to just do these things as normal. But one requires a dark side character. Unfortunately, my partner... I can't work out if this is the Emperor or my partner character. Why can't I do jumps like that? Eventually. There we go, 10 out of 10. It's our last on-foot mini-kit. Sort of. Not including the blue ones. Yeah, thankfully the electricity doesn't affect you. But your lightsaber is real. And there it is! Swapped around. Compared to LEGO Star Wars 2 where you got that in the last level, and despite it being Power Brick 36, it's actually in level 35. I don't know, but they did that for a few of them, and a lot of them seem to be the score multipliers. But it's good, because you get to see exactly how many blue studs you get when you have the score times 10 on, with the 8, with the 6, with the 4, with the 2. So you can get score times 3,000 whatever, I never remember what it is. On the downside, it's pretty much going to be the only time we ever actually see it. Because from this point onwards, we're not really going to have access to any of the extras. They are available in the bonuses, but not the multipliers. Certain ones are turned off in the bonuses. Only some. They're completely turned off in LEGO Star Wars 2, but here they are actually all available from the beginning. So they are all available to you except for the multipliers and a few other things. And you can do all sorts of things with these chairs. And so you do that. I'm assuming, I think though, that the mini-kits are completely turned off when you do challenge mode and the bounty hunter missions. So there's not much, we're not really going to be seeing the score multipliers from this point onwards. And they're turned off in Super Story as well. I would say that makes sense because Super Story would be too easy to just get 100,000 studs, but these make getting the true Jedi ridiculously easy. I mean, I just got it. How fast did I just get that true Jedi? See how much quicker these things are suddenly appearing. I don't know if it's the tractor beam, but there's a lot more of these TIE bombers suddenly here. I was waiting around for these forever when we were here the first time around because they did not appear. For some reason, they didn't want the torpedoes themselves didn't want to go anywhere at the moment. But this is so much better. Like, where were all of these TIE bombers before? Finally get around to destroying some things. So because I'm not trying to stop myself from grabbing mini-kits anymore, we can actually play this level proper now. I don't know how the guys on YouTube do it. I do follow certain guides when I couldn't remember where the mini-kits were. Mainly the ones that had moved away from where I practiced on LEGO Star Wars 1 and 2 and they changed them. It's like, wow, you guys really did manage to play through these levels beforehand without grabbing anything. Otherwise, how are you doing this on free play mode? And with this level in particular, how did they do that? Especially in the final section, they must have had to have played incompetently as I did, which is not good when you're doing a YouTube series. I'm going to love it when we finally get the infinite torpedoes, but again, I'm not really going to get much use out of that. Because I think that is one that I either didn't turn it on or it deactivates when you go into the bonus mode. So, I don't really get to use the infinite torpedoes. Which is a shame, it's really useful. It's exactly what it says, you get infinite torpedoes. Don't need to worry about constantly collecting them. Seriously, the extras are just so broken most of the time. They really are. You know, in LEGO Star Wars 1, not so much, because the extras are mostly just cosmetic. They don't do anything. They don't do much. You get invincibility. I think you get the regenerating hearts. That might have been 2, I'm not sure. No, I don't think you do actually. You get invincibility and you get the mini-kits detector. But most of the other things are pretty useless. You can turn the blasters into jugs. You can have different kinds of blasters with the same amount of damage. You can turn lightsabers into broomsticks. And then you have things like the silhouettes and the disguises and all that sort of stuff. It was in LEGO Star Wars 2 they started introducing the power bricks, and that's when they started getting a bit more broken. But they were, on the downside, quite expensive. And when you got to the score multiplier by 2, or if you just play through the story collecting as many things as possible, you can get this times 4 as well. And that will allow you to get everything else pretty quickly. Except for the multipliers themselves. And that will require grinding, and grinding, and grinding. And if you want to try and do that in the minimum way, I guess, that means you have to not buy all of the other extras except for the ones you really need. And not buy most of the characters except for the ones you really need. Bit of a problem for the ghost character. Just so you can try and get your score going up faster. But it's not really until you're going to get like 3 of them that it's really going to start going up. Because even when you get to score times 6, you're still grinding. Because if you get the score times 4 while you're playing the story, I hate these. I really hate these flying controls. You get the 4 when you complete the story, and then by the time you've done about, I'd say, a third of the free play mode, you'll have enough for the times 2. But even when you get that score up to ×8, it's still going to be a very slow process getting your total score up to 12 million studs in order to get the ×6. And even a score ×48, it's still a reasonably slow process to then get your score up to ×20, and then it's really easy. You have to grind and grind and grind. And LEGO Star Wars 1 had this issue as well, because you didn't have any multipliers for that. And almost everything in that game is really expensive. And the most expensive thing is the invincibility, and that's 1 million studs. In 2, that's not much. In 1, that is enormous. And everything else, even just to turn your lightsabers into brushes, that costs, I think it was 250 studs. You pretty much have to grind the Revenge of the Sith level, the beginning section. Darth Vader, I should say. Maybe invincible, but that doesn't help you against that. It's the worst thing about LEGO Star Wars 1 and 2 is the amount of grinding you have to do. In here and 3, that's not so much of a problem. Here, the multipliers are considerably lower, so they're a lot easier to get. And in 3, the prices have gone up, but there's so many areas where you can just get loads and loads of purple studs. The ones that are worth 10,000. So getting your score up in LEGO Star Wars 3 is really easy to do. And obviously once you start getting the multipliers, it gets easier and easier. You will have everything in LEGO Star Wars 3 long before you've finished it. Because in LEGO Star Wars 3 you have all of the combat sections to do as well. 2 for every planet, and that's the worst thing about the game, is just how repetitive it is because of that. And that you get so many studs when you're doing those as well. That is how I was able to get my score into the trillions by the time I finished the game. This game peaks at 4 billion. I don't know if LEGO Star Wars 3 peaks at anything. Because you can get into the trillion studs in that game. And The Force Awakens, I have no idea, nor do I know about any other LEGO games. I have LEGO Batman, I haven't played it yet. The first one. But really, all the LEGO games, I don't see much of a difference. It's the same thing, just with a different look. If I was to ever get any other LEGO game and it wasn't Star Wars related, it's because I either enjoyed LEGO Batman 1 or it's LEGO Jurassic World. Because who doesn't want to play as a LEGO Spinosaurus? LEGO T-Rex fan, I guess, but I don't care. I love both. I want to play as a LEGO T-Rex. Yeah, here's the thing. Because I have the invincibility on, you can ignore the fire. You can backtrack through all this. I don't know if it will go into if you can go back to the other areas or not, but you can go backwards through the fire. See how much better and faster this bit is when you're not trying to avoid everything? I do get a bit paranoid, however, that I do end up missing a few things. It turns out I don't. I just need to, because the arrow disappears at times. See, I did miss one, but I do get really paranoid. But thankfully I'm okay. And that's our final power break. It's infinite torpedoes, and that is it. That is free play mode. It's a long process, but we're finally there. 36 levels. A second time round. But again, what free play mode does offer is a lot of replayability. You know, it's mainly so you can get the mini-kits, but you do get to see quite a few things of the levels. It's just some, I think, do it better than others. Because you have things like Rescue the Princess, that whole other section that you see everyone go through a little bit of, but not much. You have that entire other section that's closed off in Secret Plans. There's quite a bit in there, you know, it's not incredibly interesting. A few other hidden areas in Mos Eisley Spaceport. But for other levels, particularly in LEGO Star Wars 1's levels, some of them offer some interesting new rooms, but there isn't really a whole lot that you're exploring. It's just there's this room off to the side. It's quite a big room, but all you're doing in there is going in, grab the mini kit or power brick, go back out again. And it is what you're doing here. You still have to go through every single area. So you are still backtracking. You're going through the new area, but then you still have to go back and go through the old area again to see, because there's likely something you missed. And that's the only problem. But other than that, free play mode does offer a nice bit of replayability. You can play as whatever character you want, even though most characters control exactly the same for their type. And this is where I just go and buy anything else that I missed, which is mainly the hints. I don't know how I missed these. I mean, all of these pop up in the game anyway. So I don't know why you need to buy them. There we go. That is officially everything bought. So next up, it's the bonus missions. Not doing a super story, but we are doing the character and mini kit bonuses. So you do need to do free play mode in order to do these. So I will see you guys then.